shaken. So lending protocols use third-party liquidators to ensure solvency. What is Minterest doing?
Right. Well, that's a really cool question and a big one for Minterest, which is that Minterest has built out an auto-liquidation engine. So that means that liquidations are managed on protocol. Now, what do liquidations mean? External liquidators for other protocols means that there are external players who scan the protocol, and they play an important role, a critical role, and they ensure the solvency of each individual participant in the protocol. And what that is that if someone's collateral value is no longer large enough, or they've borrowed too much, then their account is insolvent. And what the external liquidator does is they come in, they take a proportion of the collateral of the borrower, and they use that money to repay the loan account. And they do that at discounts to the market price, and that discount to market price acts as the liquidator's fee. So in Minterest, we've done something difficult, extremely, valuable, and that is that we've built out the protocol's own auto-liquidation engine. It ostensibly runs its own liquidation processes, and that means that rather than having external liquidators that are managing individual solvency, the actual protocol does that. And the reason that really matters is because the fee that would normally be captured by liquidators, and which constitutes in many protocols 50% of its total income or its total feeing, like its fees, the Minterest protocol captures those fees. And what it then does is that those fees then participate in its buyback and returning governance rewards to its users. So rather than liquidation fees being extracted by a select few, which is a very significant proportion of total fees of the protocol for the benefit of a select few, Minterest captures all of that liquidation income. It captures every other fee that is actually possible within the protocol, distributes that as a reward back to users for their value that they bring, which is their participation in governance.
So at the end of the day, Minterest is capturing more fees as a protocol than any other protocol in the space, right? And it's using that wisely by allowing for its users, its stakers, to benefit directly from that, right, through the buyback process. The other thing that I found very interesting about the way in which the auto-liquidation process has been set up is that it's not predatory. So what happens is with third-party liquidators, it's not to say that they are, but they have an incentive to try to get users into a position where they can get liquidated and to push them into that position. In the auto-liquidation process, our goal is not to do that. Why? Because for the Minterest protocol, the focus is attracting liquidity, not getting rid of liquidity, right? We actually want to have users lending and borrowing. We want to protect that because the more fees that are generated from TVL coming in, the more buyback that comes in, meaning we're able to retain more users. But other lending protocols, what they have is they have these constituencies, these liquidators, these third-party liquidators who they have to make sure that they are maintaining on the system, right? And so they have to keep them happy. At the same time, they have to keep their lenders and borrowers happy. And that's a very difficult thing to do because they're looking at their value ways. Minterest is not doing that. We're aligning our lenders and borrowers together, protecting them. And what that allows us to do is build more tools for Minterest, which can allow for lenders and borrowers to actually stick around and be protected from liquidations down the road. And so this is a long-term view that we're taking on it. Initially, auto-liquidation, but down the road, it will be actually quite amazing, where we can actually potentially prevent liquidations or reduce the likelihood of liquidations.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely part of the long-term play. And the other thing is that it goes to a much more holistic sort of circumstance, and one that's actually really important. And that is the Minterest model is not extractive, right? It's not about trying to attract people to come in and participate in the protocol, generate fees, and then extract those fees for the benefit of limited participants. Right? That's an extractive model. It's very kind of 2.0 thinking. 3.0, from our perspective, is not about extraction, right? It's about how do you maximize value, and how do you then distribute that value in a way which, which is for the benefit of the user community, which is creating the value of the protocol. Anyway, the entire value of a protocol is not created by anything other than the users who are participating in it and the way that they interact. And that's why governance rewards are such a significant part of this. But the whole liquidation engine is really the way that you solve the extraction model. You move away from an extraction model much more to a community inclusion, community, holistically benefiting model. And what that does is removes a misalignment of agendas. So think about how these ecosystems operate when you have varying agendas inside that ecosystem, and you have varying participants benefiting at different levels for their roles. That is not necessarily how you maximize value. And in our view, the way that you do that is that you build out a system where the misalignment of agendas disappears, and that's what auto-liquidations allows. So, and again, all of the levers in auto-liquidations are able to be determined by governance. So that means the DAO really gets to decide how they want to do it, and also how that then contributes through to governance rewards. But as Kim mentioned, there's definitely the auto-liquidation engine allows a whole range of new feature sets and feature developments in the future, which would be transformative and which we would foresee where liquidations literally don't occur. And while people may argue, why would you do that? Because suddenly you're reducing the value to the buyback. But actually, when you work this one through, what's that do to your ability to attract even further users into the system? That's something that's something for the future. That's certainly been enabled by the other thing about the auto-liquidation process from Minterest is it's not easily replicable. So one of the things that you talk about a lot in Web 2.0 is what's called a moat. Right? What is your defensibility? What is it that you have that others can't copy? And while we're in blockchain, the auto-liquidation mechanisms do have on-chain contracts, all of the intelligence happens off-chain. So this is a truly defensible moat for Minterest. It's unique in DeFi, and it's taken us about a year and a half, right, to build that out and get it fully through to a system where it's completely elegant and bug-free, and it's operating seamlessly in exactly the way that we wish, and it's fully secured and locked down. It's gone through a range of very significant audits. So, we're very proud of it. And more importantly, the value that it's going to bring to the Minterest community is going to be very, very substantial.
Which one goes?
So that's how that works.